All right, how you guys doing? I'm Jake. This is Matt.
Hi.
Matt and Jake podcast. We're here to talk to you guys about business, entrepreneurship, how we started, how we continue to grow, why we started, and just anything that we can help you guys with as we grow our own businesses.
So I guess I'll start. I'm an insurance agent. Sorry, popped that thing me off.
It's all good.
So, insurance agent, Rohoco Insurance in Laco. But I never thought growing up I want to be in insurance. I knew I wanted to work for myself. Originally, I thought I was going to be in clothing. I started a clothing company while I was in college, and it was a lot of work, but I learned a lot starting that company, and then ended up getting a job somewhere at Verizon where I was making a lot of money, so it was hard for me to want to go out on my own and start something again. Long story short, I got invited to work at New York Life where I was doing life insurance and
Which I gotta say, that's like probably the hardest thing to sell.
yeah.
Right? I mean, just selling something for people that are gonna die, so you're not even gonna get money yourself.
Well, and being so young, I think I was 22 when I started there, so trying to tell someone, that's 40 or something, let's
Right,
say
like
22-year-old,
actually know.
investing in life insurance. And so from there, I was actually helping Shane, who's a business partner of mine now, get life insurance, and he, gave me a couple offers to work with him. Eventually it turned into owning my own book in the insurance agency, and now it's become a partnership in the agency and growing from there. I have a wife, Mikayla. We've been married just over 2 years now. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter, Olivia, and about to be 1-year-old daughter, Everly. And then again, just getting in insurance, I wanted to help people. I saw an opportunity to make money, and I'm weird, and I understand it, and I like it. I have a couple of friends that tried to do insurance with me, and they just basically didn't understand it, or they just didn't like it at all. And for some reason, I
Definitely
like it.
takes a special kind of person to.
It's weird, but I like
insurance.
it. The numbers and the deal, it makes sense to me.
Right.
And then kind of growing from there. So then,
And how long you've been doing with Rohilco for how long now?
Just about 2 years. Just over 2 years. So I've been there just over 2 years. Grew a book of business from nothing. There was no personal lines book of business to now. I think we're just under $1 million book as an agency on the personal line side. I have 2 agents, about to be 3 underneath me, and then we have a customer service rep, and that's where I spend most of my time. Second business venture is Avocare. Just had an opportunity to get into it where somebody else needed something that was multi-level marketing to kind of get some tax write-offs, and gave me an opportunity to fast track that, and it turned out that I actually enjoyed trying to get healthier and not just eating.
Right, and that just
all the
happened in
time.
the last month, right?
Yeah,
And so through that, you've lost how much weight now?
10 pounds.
10 pounds.
Lost
Just in
10
the last
pounds,
month.
and
Just pretty much changing your eating and like hitting the gym just a little bit.
Yeah, 13
that's
days,
awesome.
10 pounds, gym 3 to 4 times a week. Been worse actually this week, but the food portion was huge, and then
Right.
even just like changing like your gut health, and then your energy and motivation, and being able to just get through a day without falling asleep at 2 p.m. is huge.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then Jake.
Yeah. So me, I oddly enough, before Matt and I even knew each other, back when I was 20, I was an insurance agent for farmers. That was tough, but it taught me a lot. Definitely wasn't able to sit at a desk and do office work. That wasn't my thing. So I did that for about a year. And after I was done with that, I moved on to construction. My parents gave me the opportunity to come help them flip a house. I fell in love with it, so I continued. I worked for my parents for a while. I worked for a couple other companies, and that turned into just one thing after another. I just fell more in love with it, spent more time studying about it and learning about it, and I was able to retain a lot of the information because of my interest in it. So that pushed me to where I'm at now. My dad and I are actually business partners. We own White Sand Construction. We've been doing that for, we've probably been doing that for about 4 years for the actual construction side, doing work for other people. And it's just over the last year, even probably 6 months, it's grown tremendously. And a lot of that is just it's starting to read and learn about business and gain an interest in really trying to drive myself to become just better, make more money, be able to make a difference in the world, not just make a difference in myself. So really where that started was I recently bought this house that we're in right now. I bought a new truck. I had some wheels I was paying for on my other truck, and there's a lot of expenses. And I had an option there. I could either sell a lot of the stuff that I had and try and make ends meet, or I could make a change in my life and decide it's time to make more money, and it's time. I want all these things, and so that's the choice I made. Since then, business has grown tremendously. We're getting more jobs. I've sold. It's April 7th today.
Yep,
So
today's the
April
7th.
7th, I've sold more than I did all of last year. Last year, I had about 2 guys working for me. I have 6 guys working for me now. It's a great team. It's been a great opportunity. And it's really cool because I get to help the guys that work for me learn something that I have a huge passion for. And so that's nice to be able to really see them grow and really see the company grow.
Well, and as an outsider, seeing that how much you actually care about your guys and how involved you are in their lives and getting them on the right track and trying to make better choices for themselves with smarter choices, not necessarily just staying out of trouble, but
Right.
trying to, you're not afraid to teach them the things that so that one day they could be in a similar position that you're in.
Right. Well, and that's really important for me is that, a lot of people go out and they think, well, I'm scared to teach this person everything that I know. You're going to get people that work under you. And, there's always going to be that worry of like, oh, well, what if I teach this thing, this person everything I know, and they go out and start their own business, then I wasted all this training. But if you don't look at it like that, you should look at everything like, when you have someone working for you, you should want to train them because your outcome for them should want them to be in the best position that they're in. So whether for my guys, if construction's where they're at, if they want to go into the automotive industry, whatever it is, I really want them to be able to find what's important to them and what their dreams and goals are and push towards those things. And so I'll teach them everything I know, and I'm just going to put that in God's hands if he wants them to stay with my company or not. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I had to explain to me like this. So if everyone's always how hard it is to find good help, right? So when you find good help, it's usually one of those things where it's kind of like a coincidence more than like, you actually just found the best guy, right? Because if the guy's the best guy, then he's out there, he's doing the same thing you're doing, he's already got his own company, or if he's not now, he's going to at some point.
Right.
So it's creating that duplicatable system that you can bring in people, train them to your standard, teach them the things that you know, and then when they do leave, you bring in someone else and bring them up to that same standard again.
Right, and then ultimately, I mean, your goal is for them not to want to leave, and that's
Right.
that's another thing that's so huge about treating your employees right and helping them find that, because the better you treat the people around you, the better you treat your employees. That even goes into just life when you're making relationships with other people. If you help people and you don't think about what you're going to get in return, but if you just go out and help people, well, people want to be loyal because they know who you are, they trust you. And if you can build trust with people, then why would they want to leave? Because if they leave, they got to go put faith in themselves, and they got to go put faith in something that they haven't proven yet.
Yeah.
And so, obviously the goal is to be able to retain those people you've taught and keep that. And I think that really stems with trust. So, cool. So, recently we had started, we got another buddy, Tanner, and Tanner, Matt, and I, we get together once a week, and it's just an accountability group. And that started, it's just been a little over a month, so we just hit our first 30-day goal, so about 40 days. And what we do is highly recommended by a lot of people. We get together, once a week over beers and some snacks in the evening, typically at Wednesday night, and we just talk about our goals, and we set them, we write them out, and we just go over them and hold each other accountable for what they are. So last month, I had a goal that I was at 16% body fat to get down to 11%. Matt had a goal to sell his
50 policies in 30 days,
which was more. How much more? I mean, what did you sell before that? Like your best month
was like 32 or something.
Okay, 32. So like 18. That's like one a day. He wanted to sell more than one a day.
Yeah,
so
like 40% increase.
Right. That's like 1.8 a day.
Yeah.
Where before you had sold one. So that's pretty huge. And then Tanner had a goal. He was making $19.50 an hour.
$19.50 an hour.
$19.50 an hour. He wanted to make $24 an hour.
Not working weekends.
Not working weekends. Right. And so we started writing them down. We met up every week, and we held each other accountable. We pushed ourselves. We helped each other kind of bring, whether it's new business or new opportunities, just encouragement, new meals, whatever it was, and to remind each other, like, hey, your goal is not anything short of what we originally said. And we all held each other accountable. And at the end of the 30 days, I was down to I actually hit on the last day, it was 11.57 body fat. So I hit my goal. Tanner hit his goal and was able to get his job. And it was actually it was a Sunday when we ended, and we typically don't like to work on Sundays. And so the Monday following that, you got, was it 51?
Yeah, I ended up 52, so
52,
I was short policies, and then I ended up going over
the next day.
Monday. I think I sold 7 policies to
which
hit the goal
if you ask me, that's, I mean, you don't just simply just sell a policy randomly on a day. Like those are all built up, and so that was kind of cool that we just all proved it, that writing down those goals, because I'm pretty positive that if we didn't write those down and we didn't meet those weeks, I might have made it to 13%. But I know that was huge, really just helping each other and holding each other accountable, because I knew I would be ashamed if I wasn't able to do it. I knew you guys were driving for it.
And to see all the different progress that each of us made, and then like changes that we all made just in a 30-day time period. So that's in that 30 days, I started the second deal with Avocare.
Right.
Doing that. I got a new car for work. I ended up getting a Mercedes C300 as a work car.
Right.
Being able to do that, even thinking about the opportunity to do that and how it would work with taxes and write-offs and making sense. And then also having the confidence in knowing, like, okay, yeah, the payment's $335 a month, but I'm going to make 2 to 3 times that extra to make up for it. Changing the mindset from making sure you're paying your bills to, not seeing what the floor is, but seeing what the ceiling is, and shooting for the roof instead of always
or breaking through the ceiling and really seeing what it takes to get there. Which I really think that since we proved ourselves on our last goals, we've all really upped it. I got some credit card debt and hospital bills and things like that have kind of been sitting over my head for a while. And right about 14.5, I'm going to be honest, it was, to me, that's quite a bit. I have more debt in my house and my truck, but that 14.5 has just been sitting over my head. And so my goal for this 30 days was to pay that off, and that's a pretty tough one. It's where I'm on day 10 or 11 on mine, and there's been a lot of days where it's just been hard to reach those goals, but I'm still driving. I'm still pushing myself. I'm reading lots of books and then meeting up with Matt and Tanner, and I have confidence that with that we're all going to hit our goals again, and I think I'm going to get that paid off. So.
Yeah, my goal was with the Avocare business was to just get Mikayla. So my wife, Mikayla, and I were doing the Avocare business together, and so our goal is 30 clients and then 3 people becoming distributors underneath us in 30
Which
days.
Now with the distributors, they get paid and you get paid for their sales. Is that right?
Yeah, we get an override.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, so that's originally why we even did it. Is just, One, it was an opportunity for Mikayla and I to spend more time together, to work together on something, and the last 30-day goal, we worked so hard anyways. I was finding, I spent so much time in the office, so it was like if I could create an office opportunity to make more money, to hit these goals that brought Mikayla and I closer together and working on something together.
Right.
And then it was also just the opportunity to eventually make that into a passive income opportunity, and also just try a new venture. I mean, the you didn't have to spend what we did. You could spend $59 and do it the hard way, but we kind of jump started it with about a $1,500 buy-in. So
right, and you have your mentor in it.
Yeah.
Also Matt.
Yeah, Matt. And he's awesome.
Right, and that really helps you because you got to pay to play, I believe.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to invest in yourself, I don't really think anybody's serious.
Well, no one else is going to invest in you either. And I think the other part too is we put the $1,500 in, and Mikayla and I kind of talked about it. It's like, if we put $1,500 in and we fail 100%, that was like our original thought. It's like, well, we just got a bunch of nutritional products. We just learned a whole bunch about nutrition that neither of us knew, and we're healthier people. And I've never met anyone who's only lost $1,500 from a business that failed.
Right. Like
that failed.
And
so it's like that's the worst case scenario.
Right.
So it's like, if that's the worst case, imagine what the best case could be.
Right. Well, and the other thing is you say fail, but if there's a lesson learned, it's kind of hard for there to be a failure. I think that was huge going out and selling that. So, there's a lot of things that we try, and trying is the first step to getting anywhere. And if you fail, never look at it as like, oh my gosh, I got to put my head down and like I'm just going to go back to the same thing. Look at why you failed and then improve on that and figure out what's better, what you can do better, or at least just write down what you learned and apply those to the next business venture or entrepreneur opportunity or whatever it is. I think that's huge, and like he said, for $1,500, for just the time that you and Mikayla get to spend together enjoying something that you can do as a team, I mean, I'd say that's probably got to be worth it for you.
Well, and I mean, most people would agree that they would spend $1,500 anyways just to improve their health, right? So the health improvements that we made have been astronomical, and then also like it's like lit a fire under Mikayla towards a blog that she has and some other things. So to see her motivated.
And what's her blog called?
It's called Love and Boogers. It's
okay.
It's about our kids. It's about being a mom and being a wife and just how to balance those things, and sometimes it's just tips. Like last one was 10 ways to keep your preschooler occupied, or
and that's Love and Boogers. So interesting name, but check it out if you have kiddos or just whatever it is.
Yeah, she's like us in the way that she follows a lot of the people that write blogs and gets a lot of tips from other moms, and she loves to share what she knows, and that's the one thing that she's really, really good at, and she knows inside and out. Where for us it's business, and I'll say in the Avocare business it's crazy. So Jake and I know this, but certain people are afraid to start a business or to go out on their own and to be an entrepreneur, and like in the Avocare deal, like you'd think that I would kill it because I do insurance all day. I'm so used to sales. I'm meeting people, networking, marketing, that kind of deal.
Right.
Mikayla's the one driving all our business right now because she's so personable. People love her.
Right.
Easy to talk to, and it's not someone who has a sales background. So they're like, oh, she's getting healthier, and she had a diet of grilled cheese, pizza, pasta, and whatever before.
Yeah.
And now she's getting healthier, and she's enjoying it and being able to do it herself like that speaks volumes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think with anything, if you have a passion for what you do, it shows, and it really helps you grow in your business.
Yeah.
And that's, with me with construction and Matt with insurance, being able to help people, and there's companies out there that they're only looking for your buck, and I can tell you for sure Matt's not one of those guys. He's out there looking to help help make sure that you have the coverage that you need. He doesn't want you overinsured. He doesn't want you underinsured. He wants to make sure that your valuables are protected, And when you have a passion, that's the kind of business you run. Not just those big companies that are just out there trying to sell you whatever. So,
well, the same can be said about you, Jake. I mean, so Jake's doing a remodel on my dad's house right now. It's about, I say, what, like 75% finished, 80%,
yeah, probably
somewhere
about.
in there. It's
getting ready for paint inside now.
We live in the Northwest. It takes a long time to do a full-on remodel,
especially during this time. Yeah, it's terrible.
That you get, but it's the same thing, right? So there's a lot of different stuff that Jake deals with that probably another contractor wouldn't deal with or put up with, because he does care. He does want to give the highest quality. He does want to have the best project, and he believes his team's the best team, and if they're not today, he's going to make them the best team. So
right,
and that's I mean, I work with a lot of contractors on the insurance side of things, and that's kind of how our agency grew to where it's at now, working with construction in the construction field, and that's not usually the case.
It's unfortunate, but this time of economy, you can go back to 2000, the end of 2008, when the housing market started going up. You can go back, if you actually look back through the real estate times, and you look at any spike where they just really drive up. If you look at houses built in those times, oftentimes there's a lot of houses just built bad because the guys could take advantage of it. They're cutting corners, they're doing things fast, they're doing it for the buck.
My dad's house.
Right, in his dad's house back in 97. And we figured that out pretty quick, but that wasn't going to slow us down. There's a lot of unexpected things. In fact, powder post beetles got into two corners of the house. I mean, just rot galore. You couldn't believe it. We had to cut through some beams and remove
Every
part of the
window
wall.
was done wrong.
It was crazy, but we did what we had to do, and that's just, I can go to bed every night and know that I don't have to worry about him calling me back, or any client that we ever have. And if you ever have to worry about someone calling you back, or if you're ever staying up at night thinking, oh man, I did that wrong, and trying to justify it, you just can't. Just cut the cost, and do what's right. Because if you do what's right every single time, you can only learn from that, and you'll only get better. And if you take responsibility for your actions, you'll be able to grow as a person, and you'll realize that those things will stop happening. Right. I mean, anytime you make a mistake, if you just take responsibility for it and take care of it.
Well, that's like a motto I've adopted, because being younger in insurance, and one of the things I really had to grow in is, growing up, I was such a non-confrontational person.
Right.
So like when a problem would occur, I'd be like, oh no, and I'd like dread it and want to put it off. So the motto that I created for myself is, a lot of people organize their day in order of importance. How I signify importance is the thing I least want to do for the day.
Right.
And that's the first thing I do. So I literally take the thing that it's like, I don't want to do this all. I don't even want to have to be the person to do this. I do that first.
Right. Well, and tell me this. So when you do something like that first, you go out and you do like the thing that you're dreading the most.
Mm-hmm.
What's a better feeling of accomplishment, when you get that done, or when you get like that easy thing done that's just like put on your to-do list just because you're going to do it anyway?
Well, it just makes it your whole day right. Because I mean, everybody knows this. If you have something going on and it's weighing on your mind and you don't take care of it, it's on your mind all day. Right. It's going to affect every other thing, even the little things. And then maybe you make another mistake somewhere else. But if you just knock it out of the way, your confidence skyrockets the whole rest of your day.
Right, and your momentum, because momentum's huge. Just knocking down walls.
Yeah.
So great. Well, I think that's probably getting close to time for the day. If there's one thing that you could say from when you first started that kind of got you, the first thing that you can remember, like getting the ball rolling in insurance, like those first few sales, like what was it that kept you going?
I would say having the understanding that what I was doing was actually helping somebody.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like what got the ball rolling, got me excited, and from there is like I just helped somebody save a decent amount of money on their car insurance.
Right, which monthly, I mean, $20 a month? That's even 20. But I know for one of my guys, he saved $100 a month.
Yeah, and so So seeing the impact on somebody when you save them money per month, knowing you're sometimes even getting them better coverage while saving them money and being able to take care of them that way, but then see the fact that, okay, I just made money by helping somebody.
Right.
Or like I came from, a background at Verizon where, I could make money if I wanted to selling phones, but I wasn't always helping people. I mean, you get people that they're trying to get you to upsell people that just came in and paid 3 months of back billing. Right. They're trying to get you to make that bill bigger. So.
And we're not talking bad about Verizon or any companies. Right. It's just one that he's worked for before.
That was an experience I had in some scenarios, right? So not every time I work with somebody was like that, but
right. But
I can honestly say in what I do now, that's never a thing that would happen. You wouldn't go into a day and be like, you can't afford this insurance, so you should do this too.
Let's up your insurance because you're already struggling. Yeah, cool. So for me, when I started construction, like I said, I went from insurance to construction, and I've always liked working with my hands. I've always liked fixing things, and I can remember when I was a little kid, building skateboard ramps and just random things with my dad, and at that time, I started realizing that I could understand how houses worked, how electrical, plumbing, framing, siding, having attention to detail to make sure that things turned out how they were supposed to. And when I was able to tie those things together and I was able to learn and actually be fired up to learn about that, that's really what changed it. And I knew there was money involved, and I knew that eventually there was, and I was always looking for more ways to make more money, but I made I took a pay cut to go into construction, and to me that was just that just made me realize how much more the passion was. And am I going to be in construction forever? Probably not. I might have my hand in construction forever. I want to train people to do the best work that they can. I want to train people to pay attention to the small things, and maybe that's more of where I want to go with this. But I know from the beginning that's always been it. Is just this passion for wanting to give people the best out there, and I really think we're starting to get close to that now. So.
Well, I think one of the things you said that kind of, reminds me when I got into insurance. So you took a pay cut to get into construction, and I took a pay cut to go into insurance.
Yeah. So,
obviously, if you go long term, I definitely got a raise.
Oh, yeah,
if you backtrack it. But
there's no way I'd be making as much as I am now with how I was working in insurance.
But we started by taking a risk, right? So right. I think that's kind of like a good way to end it is just any type of business, anything. I mean, even us starting a podcast, like we've never done a podcast before.
I have no clue.
For all we know, everyone's going to say the worst things about us. We might say the best things about us.
Hey, you know what? Tell us.
But it was a risk.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, and be honest, and we're good with that.
We want to know.
Taking a risk, we know that 10 years from now, looking back, we're not going to think that this was a dumb risk that we learned from this.
Absolutely not. So, cool. Well, with that, like we said, we hope the best for all you guys, and I think we should just close in a prayer.
Yep.
That's just we're not going to push God on you, but I'm going to tell you that we couldn't be where we're at today, neither one of us, without Him. And so if I can just close us out here. So, Father God, I just want to thank you so much for the opportunity to come together and just start this podcast and start this new venture with Matt. And I pray that through this we can just reach a lot of people and just help people grow their business and grow as people and just figure out what it is that they're striving for, and just be with everybody that's listening to this and be with us as we close out our evening and our weekend. And we just love you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys, for watching. Let us know what you think. Leave us a review and just give us 5 stars. Yeah, and if you don't, then give us 5 stars anyway, and we'll look at that so we can see your review better. So, anyways, we're signing off. Thanks.